Oh, yeah! You know what time it is. That's right, it's time for the Eddie and Webby podcast! Yo, I'ma bust out some theme song action for you. Check it out. The Eddie and Webby show is the place to be. They're talking about beer and pickleball and technology. So if you didn't know, now you know. 'Cause it's time for the Eddie and Webby show.
On today's episode, Eddie and Webby bake a cake. This is the Eddie and Webby podcast.
What do you get when you put a vest on an alligator? An investigator. Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie, and this is our 70th podcast.
Oh, yeah, and I really can't believe it, but we actually reached episode number 70. How crazy is that?
I know we talk about it a lot, but honestly, guys, I didn't think we were going to get past maybe 20. I know, Webby, you thought like 10 was going to be the most. I at least thought 20, but not 70. This is crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe it. But yeah, here we are, episode 70. We have a super fun show in store for you guys. We have an awesome guest that is going to join us in just a couple minutes. We have a new episode of Pros Asking Pros Questions, and it is just going to be a super, super fun night.
That's right. And just so you guys know, we are live. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And for the 3 people that care, that's right, I said 3, we're live on Twitch just for you guys.
That is correct.
That's right. So if you have any comments or questions for us or for our guest tonight, definitely feel free to throw them down in the comments. This is me pointing down at the comments. You guys can put them down in there because, again, this is meant to be interactive.
Yeah, we love to interact, so please let us know if you have any questions or comments for us or our guest, and we'll get to as many as we can.
That's right. But before we bring our guest on, a couple of things we want to be able to talk about. First of all, I really want to know, you guys really want to know, Webby, what is going on in Twitter?
Oh, man. Yeah, Twitter has been off the hook. It's been crazy lately. Let me go ahead and pull Twitter up here on my cellular telephone and see what's going on the Twitter sphere. Here is a message from Team Glenny for life. Other than the horrible guest host, episode 69 of the Eddie and Webby podcast was pretty awesome. Hashtag partygirlchica420 sucks.
Yikes. They're still battling it out, huh? The feud continues.
Yeah, I thought the feud was over, but apparently Team Glenn still bashes on Matt Loria like crazy whenever they get a chance. But anyway, thanks for the tweet. Let's do another one here. Here's one from Andre the Baron, and he says, at Eddie and Webby and at Andrea Raminzi, Wing City Open gaining ground on Beer City Open, right, Maggie? Hashtag pickleball. I'm assuming that is for Maggie Raminzi Chow and the Wing City Open. That's over on her turf. But yeah, that's a tournament I really definitely want to check out soon. The Wing City Open. That should be a good one to check out. I believe it's over there in Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, it should be good, but they're missing like 2 amazing hosts that are going to make the Beer City Open like way better if you think about it.
Right. And they have a lot of work cut out for themselves if they want to gain ground on the Beer City Open. That's for sure. But
that's right. You ain't in our league. You ain't in our league.
All right, let's do one more tweet here. Here's one from Brad A. Shunk. He says, can't wait to watch Eddie and Webby podcast 70, July 15th, 2020, as they interview Mrs. Defense, Ernie Queen, a.k.a. Lindsey Newman Adams. And yeah, I can't wait either. And it's going to happen very soon. Very, very soon. But thanks,
That's
Brad,
right.
for the comment. And that's going to do it for Twitter. And Eddie, I don't know about you, but I'm super thirsty. Would you mind cracking open a cold one before we introduce our guest?
I think we should. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what you're going to be enjoying for the evening?
So this one is pretty interesting. It comes from El Segundo Brewing Company. And this is a beer that's actually made by Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's called Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think he personally makes it, but he paired up with this brewery, the El Segundo Brewing Company. This is not sold in Michigan. I had to actually have it shipped to my house. And so this is a very limited edition, special occasion type of beer for me. And I thought tonight was a perfect night to crack it open. So that's what I will be sipping on tonight.
Oh, nice. I'm excited to hear about your adventures with that beer.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sounded just like him.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Well,
What are you
you're
gonna be
pouring
drinking
that.
tonight?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit. I've been drinking beer a lot on the show, but I'm also a fan of scotch, and I kind of found this and had to like dust it off in the back of my cabinet. It's
Oh.
Glenlivet 12-year-old. I technically prefer Macallan over Glenlivet, but sometimes I like to enjoy a little sipper of it. And of course, you got to drink it neat, no ice, anything like that. So I'm just going to enjoy sipping on a little bit of scotch for the evening. And
Very nice.
cheers.
Cheers. I did a horrible pour. Look at all that foam
Oh.
on top.
You blew it.
Horrible.
Can't believe it. Well, I'm excited to hear about how that beer tastes a little bit later, Webby. But what do you say we bring on our guest?
Yeah, I think we should do that right now because nobody cares about us. They want to get to our guest.
That's right. Well, tonight's guest blasted onto the pickleball scene and quickly made a name for herself. She can pretty much defend any pickleball shot you throw at her for hours on end. And when you least expect it, she's going to finish you off with a pretty wicked Ernie. You know her. You love her. Please welcome Lindsey Newman Adams. What's going on, Lindsey?
Hello. Thank you for having me. Number 70. I feel honored to be here.
We're honored to have you on episode number 70. We met you in person for the first time. It was actually right around a year ago at the Beer City Open, and I've been kind of excited to have you on ever since then.
Oh, that is so sweet. I think someone had asked me, maybe Rob Cassidy had asked me to be in the booth, and honestly, I don't know if I'm as good of an announcer as some of the other pros that do it, but it was a lot of fun. You guys are fun to be around.
Well, you got to announce in the booth with us for the women's gold medal singles match, and that was Michelle Esquivel against Irina Terashenko, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, it was. It was a really good match, too.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. So I'm glad it was a year in the making, but here we go. We got you on the podcast. Very excited.
Yes.
You're
too.
you being on was in high demand amongst the pickleball
Oh.
community, so.
I feel honored. I'm happy to be on. That's for sure.
Cool. We're happy to have you. And it wouldn't be an Eddie and Webby podcast interviewing one of the top pros in the sport if we didn't start out by asking you a random question that nobody is expecting. And that is, tell us how you first found pickleball.
Yeah, so at the time, Riley and I were refereeing college basketball, and our assigner at the time, Mark Cook, found out we played Division I tennis in Seattle, and he was telling us we should get out and give it a shot and play. And Riley and I were a little hesitant. We thought it was kind of just for the old people, and only old people play pickleball. But it was an opportunity for us to suck up to the boss for a little bit, and so we came out and played at Pickleball Central in Kent with Brian Ashworth and Peter Hudako, and we played for like 5 or 6 hours, and we were totally hooked after that. And the Mark Cook guy was telling us we should enter into this tournament pretty soon after, and Riley and I did. We entered into the 5-0 pro mixed doubles bracket and ended up winning the bracket, which is such a crazy thing to think about. We didn't have our own paddles. We were borrowing people's paddles, and we were constantly getting called for being out of position. And we were totally a hot mess, but it was a lot of fun, and we won a couple $100 and we're totally hooked after that.
And how long ago was that?
That was June of 2017. So we've been playing a little over 3 years now.
All right. And you said you were refereeing at the time. You still referee, don't you?
Yeah, so I actually took this year off from college officiating. decided just to kind of stick with pickleball. And, you know, it was hard because refereeing takes up so much of your time and it demands so much attention and focus and all that stuff. So I decided I was just going to stick with pickleball this year, and kind of leave reffing on the back burner. And I missed it a lot for sure, but it was fun to kind of put all my time and energy into pickleball and commit to that for this year.
Well, obviously it's paying off. So how, what, you mentioned basketball. Did you referee any other sports besides basketball?
Nope, just basketball. You know, growing up, we were huge sports people. So, you know, I played volleyball and fast pitch, tennis, those sports too. Um, and I did a little bit of volleyball lining where I was on the back of the court, you know, calling balls in or out, but nothing really serious. It was basketball that I was doing college, and the goal was to eventually, you know, ref in the WNBA or the NBA and do that. But then I found pickleball and I decided that I think I'm going to take a kind of a new career path.
That's great. So when was there like a moment or something that happened in your pickleball career when it just light bulb, like, this is what I want to do. I'm doubling down on pickleball as my primary sport and my career?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, after our me and Riley's very first tournament, you know, I think after we won a couple $100, we were both like, oh my gosh, like that was really fun. And no one was booing us off the court like they do in basketball.
Yeah.
And, you know, people were really nice. So, you know, I think that was a turning point. And then I think what really, you know, hit us hard was last year, we ended up getting bronze at the US Open. And I think we kind of went further and did better than most people thought we could. After that, we had some pretty big wins, and Riley and I looked at each other and just kind of said, okay, let's do this thing. And it's been history ever since. We've both lives to pickleball, and he kind of put reffing on the back burner too. And we've been both just training and teaching and playing as much as we can.
Okay. So obviously you said you were big into sports leading up to starting pickleball. You mentioned tennis. Were there any other sports though that you feel like really helped you set the framework to excel at pickleball?
I don't know. I mean, tennis for sure. I mean, I think when people watch, you know, Riley and I play, they see a lot of tennis in our pickleball, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But I think tennis was obviously a big help. And then, I don't know, I think any sports, anything you can do, you can kind of relate it to some cross training stuff. I mean, even, you know, working out and lifting weights is really good for the pickleball game, and doing different, you know, hiking is really good. So I don't know if it's, you know, a specific sport that really helped, but I think just being active in general and being semi-athletic helped a lot.
Okay. One thing I've always heard, and I've heard this a lot from my buddy Johnny Pickleball. He says sometimes the best position you want to be in at the kitchen line is similar to a defensive stance in basketball. And I don't have much experience at all. I think I played middle school basketball for like one season and just knew it wasn't for me. But would you see that helping at all as far as kind of your mechanics and your footwork go?
Yeah, and that's funny you say that. I remember one of the very first tournaments I played in, I played with a really high level pro women's player at the time, and she still is. And you know, we were playing this tournament and I was getting so low and, you know, bending my knees so much. And I remember her telling me, I mean, several times throughout the tournament, Lindsey, stop getting so low. Lindsey, stay tall, be tall at the net, you know, show strength and court presence at the net, you know, stay tall. And I don't know. I mean, I tried doing that and it just wasn't successful for me. And so now I still think I get kind of made fun of and harassed a little bit by other people because I get so low at the net. You know, half the time I'm doing a complete squat, you know, for a couple minutes during a point sometimes. So I think Johnny Pickleball is right. I think basketball and being in that defensive stance can be really helpful at the net.
That's cool. Obviously, you and Riley, you have similar styles. And the first time I saw you guys out there, it was the first time I had really seen kind of your style of play, from using two hands a lot more than most other players I've seen, to even the way that you hold the paddle and the grip that you have on it. Do you want to talk about maybe some of the unique things that you kind of bring to the game from that perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Riley and I first started playing with Brian and Peter, we were, ripping backhand, two-handed backhands from the baseline, instead of doing the typical third shot drops, and we were constantly switching and moving, and we were hitting a lot of two-handed backhands. We'd actually run around our forehand to hit the two-handed backhand, and even at the time 3 years ago, they were saying, no one hits two-handed backhands. What are you guys doing? Oh, what's that? It's trash. It's horrible. All this different stuff. Riley and I stayed true to ourselves and to our game, and I think our kind of dynamic, being the only brother sister pro team out there, is exciting, and I think it's kind of fun to watch. And I think the fact that most of the time when we play, my forehand is in the middle, and I think 99% of the other pro teams, it's the guy's forehand in the middle. And I like to Ernie a lot and do different things, and we like to kind of shake and bake a little bit, and oftentimes I'm the one charging the net first and stuff like that. So for Riley and I, we think it's kind of fun to break down the myths of pickleball and the barriers that a lot of people put on it. And for us, it's fun, and we like kind of doing things out of the norm, and it might not work for a lot of other teams, but it's worked for us, and we'll keep going.
I absolutely love what you said about you guys kind of staying true to pickleball and doing it your way. Cause I agree with you. I think that and especially when I started off, it was very prevalent. I was taught that there's a right way to play pickleball and a wrong way to play pickleball. And what I've learned as I've experienced it more is that it's not the case. You have to be able to be a dynamic player, play to what you're comfortable with. And it's good to have some sort of guidelines when it comes to it, right? Everybody needs to learn how to do a drop shot. You can't just drive every single shot, but to think that you can only drop on the third, and you only hit one-handed backhands, and you name it, I think can be very damaging to the sport.
I think so too, and that's what Riley and I taught. And even the more we're getting out there and teaching, we have people coming up to us all the time, being like, we were told not to do the two-handed backhand, but after watching you guys, we want to try it. Can you help us? What's the grip? What do you guys use? All that different stuff. And like I said, Riley and I have never really fit into the normal, typical box of pickleball players. We've never done things the way that other people did, and it's nothing wrong with that. But for our game and for our style, we like hitting two-handed backhands from the baseline and the kitchen, and we like having my forehand in the middle for multiple reasons. And we like doing different things that some people probably don't like doing and teach against, and that's fine. But for us, it adds another level of fun, dynamic play that we like to bring to the fans and to the streaming world.
It's always a blast to watch you guys play, for sure.
Oh,
so,
thank you.
Webby, it looks like there might be some action going on in the social media world, huh?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of great feedback today. People love tuning in to hear what Lindsey has to say. And we actually have a very groundbreaking comment that I'm about to put up on the screen. And the reason it's groundbreaking is I think this is legitimately our first ever Twitch viewer that's actually watching and has a question or a comment for us. And that comes from Wings Media Guy, and they say, hello from Kagoshima, Japan. So glad I finally caught you guys live. So thank you, Wings Media Guy. This is awesome. This is a groundbreaking moment. Our 70th podcast, and finally somebody on Twitch is actually watching live and leaving us a comment that actually makes sense. Usually we just get like a bunch of trolls or like just random comments from people that probably aren't even tuning in. So thanks, Wings Media Guy. We appreciate you. We have a comment here, or a question from Gary, who's tuning in on YouTube. and he says, "Does she have a blizzard with her?" That's a great question.
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't have a blizzard, but I spent about $10 buying out the Scream Man yesterday, so I have some popsicles in the freezer waiting with my name on it. If I do a good enough job at the interview, I will treat myself to one of those Ice Cream Man popsicles.
Well, good. Well, so far you're on the path to earning 2 tonight. So
Good.
yes. Sometimes I forget, that a lot of people, some of our listeners out there, they might not know the ins and outs and the dynamics and the relationships out there in the pro pickleball world. You've brought up Riley before, and we're talking about Riley Newman, who is your brother.
Younger brother, yes.
Younger, and he I'm sure he at every opportunity wants to point out that he is the younger of you two, right? Yeah.
Of course, yes, absolutely.
How many years apart are you and Riley?
We are 2 years apart. So I'm 29 and he just turned 27 in June.
Okay. But that's not it. You have other siblings other than Riley, right?
We do, yeah. So there's actually 7 kids total. So Riley's actually smack dab in the middle of all of them. And then I'm right above Riley. So then I have 2 older sisters, 2 younger sisters, and then counting Riley, I have 2 younger brothers.
That's crazy. So, I mean,
yeah.
Both Webby and I come from smaller families. So every time we hear about these large families, it's such a foreign concept to us. Like, what is that like growing up with that many siblings?
It was insane. That's probably one of the questions I get asked the most, pickleball wise, is what was it like growing up with so many siblings? And honestly, I wish my parents had more kids because it was much fun. And it was fun because of how competitive we were and how everything was never played for fun. We always had a consequence. Typically most families have chore charts. We played ping pong, or we did a free throw contest, as to who had to unload the dishwasher or clean the living room or whatever it may be. And, even for holidays and birthday parties and just summer days were spent, hanging out with family, and those are the best. And like I said, I wish my parents had more, but they stopped at 7, and it's a really, really good family dynamic.
That's so cool. That must have been a lot of fun growing up. And you brought up that you're very competitive with each other. I know you've talked about it before on other podcasts and things like that, but you guys like to wager blizzards, Dairy Queen blizzards a lot. Is that right?
Yeah, actually me and Riley have a thing too. When we're playing tournaments, if one of us misses a serve, they have to buy the other person a McDonald's sundae. So even though we like Dairy Queen, we're not against, McDonald's and other restaurants too. But yes, we're big gamblers. We love to bet, and doesn't get much better than Dairy Queen.
Well, with that being said, I've got a little competition that I'm hoping you're going to be up for. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. So let's talk about the stakes here. If you are able to get, and I'll talk about what we're going to be competing on here in a minute, but if you're able to get more than 6 right, then the next time Webby or I see you at a tournament, your choice of whether it's McDonald's or a sundae or a Dairy Queen blizzard, you'll win that. But if you get 6 or less right, then you owe us each either McDonald's sundae or small blizzard. What do you think?
Okay, I will never turn down a bet. That's for sure. I'm in.
All right. Well, this is good because I think I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball here. If you guys haven't checked out Simone Jargim's YouTube channel, you definitely should. But when Webby was in town here at the Florida Grand Slam, we did a video with Ben Johns for her channel where he imitated 13 pro players out there. And what I wanted to do is go through all 13 with you and see how many you get right. We're going to pause between each one. You'll take a guess. We'll compile it at the end. And as I said, if you get more than 6 right, then we owe you. You get 6 or less.
Okay.
You owe
Okay.
us.
I'm
Sound
up
good?
for the challenge. Let's do it.
Okay, but there is one more caveat here, and that is you or somebody close to you might be featured in here, and if you get that wrong, all bets off. I don't care if you get
Oh,
12 of the
no.
other ones right. You got
Oh no.
to get that right. What do you say?
Shoot. Okay. I'm in. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
I'm going to be imitating some notable pro players.
So let's see if you can guess who they are.
Here's pro player number 1. You have a guess?
I'm gonna say Kyle Yates.
Incorrect.
Oh
That was
no. Shoot.
Wes Gabrielson.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
Yep, that's all right.
Shoot. 0 for 1.
Here we go.
Dang it, off to a bad start.
I'm feeling good about number 2 here for you, though. You ready?
Okay. Yep. Okay, I think I'm good on this one. I'm gonna say Matt Wright.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh,
I think
thank
the not
goodness.
bending the knees
Okay.
and the figure eight. It's a giveaway.
Figure 8 is always a good key.
That's right. All right, you're at 1. We're gonna keep this
Okay.
going.
Oh gosh.
Ah! 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 Ah!
I'm gonna say DW, Dave Weinbach.
Ding, ding, ding. All right.
All right, I'm on a roll here, 2 in a row.
You've got 2.
Okay.
Let's keep it going.
Never!
What do you think?
All right, I believe this guy actually lives in Pasadena, California, or at least plays there. I'm gonna say Jeff Warnick.
Ding, ding, ding. All right. You've got 3 correct so far. This
that
Webby, this
was an
isn't looking
easy
good
one.
for us, man. I think she's doing better than she thought she was going to.
Right?
No,
Yeah,
I'm getting lucky.
I fear we are not going to be winning a blizzard in our future.
Nope.
It's still early.
True. All right, here we go. On to the next
Okay.
one. What do you think?
Oh golly, I'm not confident on this one. I'm going to say Lucy.
That
Oh,
one
I
was
knew
Kyle
it.
Yates.
Oh, that was my second guess. Darn it.
All right, Webby.
Shoot.
There's
Okay.
still hope for us here.
Uh-oh. You
All
guys have a
right.
lot of hope.
Yeah, things are finally going. Things are finally going in our favor here. Let's see what happens.
Here we
Oh,
go.
no.
So good. Unbeatable.
All right, what do you think?
I'm gonna say his partner, Simone.
Ding, 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 ding. All right.
Oh, oh, thank goodness. That would have been bad if I missed that one.
I think he did a good impression of her getting low like that.
Well, the unbeatable thing I think was
Yeah.
what did that one.
Okay, you're at 4. You need to get 3.
Okay, so I need to
more.
wait. I need to get 7 or more. Okay.
Yep. So you need to get 3 more,
Okay.
and you have 7 more options. So you got to get
Okay.
3 out of the 7.
All right, I like those odds.
I'm feeling good here. And here we go. Here's the
Okay.
next player. That's it. What do you think?
I actually just saw that he was teaching a clinic in Washington State, so I'm going to say Rob Davidson.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, such a good guy. Oh, very nice.
Man, you're up to 5. Only a couple more.
Okay.
Let's go here.
Woo.
What do you think?
A lefty. Oh my gosh. I don't even know who a lefty is. Golly, can I phone a friend?
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Shoot, I don't have any friends around. Okay, a lefty. I'm gonna say my brother Cody. I don't know.
Eh, It was Rob Cassidy.
Oh, how awful am I? Oh, shoot.
That's all right. You're at 5 still.
Wow.
You just need a couple more.
Okay.
And
Dang.
here we go. I wonder who that could be.
Oh, he's such a punk. I'm going to guess me.
Yay!
Only because of the Ernie. Only because of the Ernie.
Man, I was hoping she was going to get this one wrong because that would have been an instant win for us.
I know.
Yep.
If he didn't do the Ernie, I probably would have guessed Simone on that one again.
Yep. All right, here we go. We have 4
Okay.
more, and you only need to get 1 more correct
Oh,
win.
come on.
your Blizzard or Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
Here we
Okay,
go with
just
player
one.
number 10. What do you think?
I'm gonna guess Ben himself.
And it was Tyler Loon.
Oh, of course. Dang
I mean,
it.
to be
Gosh, I'm
fair,
choking. I'm choking.
there are a few people out there that will do the Ernie from half court. So to be fair, I know he's one of a few.
Yeah,
that does
I guess Zane kind of does it too. Golly, wasn't even close.
that. Yep.
Okay, I need one more.
One more. I think this is gonna be the one you're
Okay.
gonna get.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure you will. Here we go.
okay. Only because his shorts are pretty high. I'm gonna say Tyson.
Ding 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 ding. Yeah.
Nice work.
Oh,
right.
thank goodness.
Well, we do have 2
Holy
more
cow.
that I want to show. So these are just freebies, but I want to see if you
Okay.
can.
Let's
Because
see if
this
I can get
next
some
one.
extra credit here.
Well, this next one was tough, and when we posted the video, a lot of people didn't get this right, and I think it's because he's fairly new to playing and winning at the level that he's at right now. So just to give you a little bit of
Okay,
hint,
all
here's
right.
player number
That's a
12.
good hint there. Golly, a newer player. Um, Zane?
No. I'll give you a hint.
Oh,
Whippersnapper.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yes, Colorado, right? Is he in
I
Colorado?
thought it was Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, Jay. Yes, Jay, right?
Jay Duvier. That's him.
Yes, I think he is
Yep.
in Kansas now that I think about it. Yes, that was a good one.
I agree. And that one was tough. A lot of people really struggled with that one. But once, the funny part is if you go back and watch it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's totally Jay.
It's totally him. Yeah. No, that was a good one. Shoot.
All right. And last one.
Okay, one more. Okay.
Not today.
Not today on a two-handed back. Riley?
Think about a Jigsaw commercial.
Ben? Not today? Is that my hint? Or
Yep.
is the Jigsaw commercial my hint?
Maybe this will
today.
help.
Yeah.
Not today. That's probably not a good hint.
No. No, I don't know. What was that? No.
It was Lucy Kovalova.
Oh, yes. Not today. Okay, now I got the accent. That was actually a pretty good accent. I just did not get it.
Webby does a really good impersonation of Lucy, that's for sure.
That was good. That was my fault for not getting that.
Well, if you guys want to go check out that video, check it out on Simone Jardim Pickleball YouTube channel. Tons of really good content out there. And that video, I think, was so much fun to make. Webby got to be there, actually, when we were filming it. How much fun was that?
Oh, man, that was so much fun. Yeah, I got to witness the filming of that. Such a blast. Such a good time.
We were all dying laughing for sure. Oh, you got a visitor.
That was my little niece Bailey making her cameo in her in the 70th episode.
Very nice.
Nice.
Well, Webby, I see a ton of social media stuff going on here.
Yeah.
Anything you want
They're
to bring
just
up?
flowing in. Yeah, so Lindsey just won a blizzard from each of us the next time that we're at a tournament together. And speaking of blizzards,
Now it was a large though, right?
Yes, it is a large. Yep.
Okay.
And I think you got some extra credit there, so you get some free additions if you want.
Wow, I will do extra mix-ins for sure.
Yep, you earned it. You earned it. That's for sure.
Okay, I'll take it.
But we got a message here on Facebook from Ryan Treffry, and he says, "I heard Dairy Queen will be a sponsor at your tournament in October, the Arizona Open. Will you be eating a blizzard after each match win?"
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, blizzards aren't the cheapest, so if they're given to me, I'm not going to turn it down. But if I have to buy it, that's going to wait until hopefully I'm on the first place podium stand.
All right. Yeah, I feel like in between, like each win might be a little much, but yeah,
that's dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. Here's another question or comment here from Ian Moss, and he says, "I love your continuity, Lindsey, with your brother. When you guys play, you move effortlessly on the court together." And I agree. Like it's such a blast to watch you guys play together.
That is so sweet. I think half the time Riley and I know where the other person's going, and then the other half of the time we're kind of stuck in that I formation where Riley's in front and I'm in back, and I'm like the cleanup hitter. That any ball, if one does happen to get past Riley, I'm typically there. But that is very nice.
And Eddie and I have talked about this recently. There's two teams that really stand out as far as like who really impacted and shook up the game of pickleball. and that would be Lee and Annalie Waters, and then absolutely you and Riley Newman. I mean, both both of
Wow.
you two, it's like you definitely shook up the world of pickleball, and it's definitely made the game a lot more fun and interesting. So yeah, I love it. I love what's going on these days.
That is really high praise. I don't know if we would 100% agree with that, but that is really, really sweet. And like I was telling Eddie, it's been fun to kind of do things differently and do things our own way and not kind of stick to the normal pickleball and what people think is right and the only way to do stuff. So that's cool.
All right, we got another comment here. This one comes from Denny Vincent, who's tuning in on YouTube, and he says, "What inspired you to be such an Ernie addict?"
I don't know. I mean, I like to say that Riley's a big ball hog. So, my only chance to hit the ball was to, do an Ernie. Otherwise, he's always cutting in front of me and taking the balls away from me. So maybe that has something to do with it. Otherwise, the Ernie's just a fun shot. Who doesn't like hitting an Ernie? And once I learned the shot pretty quick in my career, it was just kind of no looking back from there.
Nice. I still actually have never done an Ernie. I can't wait until I finally can do that. I haven't done it yet. But speaking of Ernies, we actually have a new comment that just came in that I had to throw up here on the screen. And this comes from Wings Media Guy on Twitch. And they say, when Lindsey does an Ernie shot, what are some typical tells she looks for in the opponent?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one of them is if I feel like they're isolating me a lot, and I know, if how Riley and I play, I typically am going head to head down the line with the other girl. So, I know a lot of times they would rather, put the pressure on me than Riley. So if I think, a lot of times it's just the gut feeling as to when I'm going to go or not. Another telltale sign is just as soon as they put their head down to look at the ball, that's kind of my cue to go so they don't see me. And then, Riley and I will hit specific shots, typically at their, forehand, I guess their right foot. And that typically will cause them to hit, down the line. And that's when I'll go. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But luckily I have a really good partner who's able to cover me and I'm able to just get back around to the court and play out the point.
Well, it's always exciting to watch you hit an Ernie. I always look forward to it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there's a couple more questions that I wanted to ask you before we get into the pros asking pros questions segment, which we have a lot of them. So everybody, if you're out there, keep sticking around because there's going to be some good stuff there. But kind of continuing on a little bit with you and Riley playing together. One other thing that I've always noticed is, well, actually, I want to ask you, there's something you do out on the court that is quite loud. And the first time I ever heard it happen, I was surprised. Do you have any idea what it is that I'm referring to?
I think what you're talking about is when I yell, "Watch it" or "out" at Riley.
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't talk much, so it has to be that.
Yeah, the first time I think, I don't remember which tournament it was, but when I'd watch you and Riley play, courtside for the first time, and you could actually hear what was going on out there, I had to do a double take. Like, did that just come out of Lindsey's mouth? You said "out," and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Like that. It was uncharacteristic of everything that I had met or learned about you up to that point.
Yeah, well, it started with "watch it," and then Riley was like, "That doesn't help me because I don't know if you're telling me the ball's out or to let it bounce and wait to see if it's going to land in. Like, that doesn't help. So you need to be more direct and just yell, in or out." So now it's gone from "watch it" to like a full on, deep in the esophagus out. And he's really good about listening most of the time. There'll be a few times where he still will hit balls that I yell out, and then I have to give him that like sister glare and make sure he knows that I'm not very happy with him. But no, he's really good about listening. And like I said, we don't talk a whole lot on the court, so it's like one of the only times that we or especially me, open our mouth. So it's kind of like if I'm saying it, it's probably right. So listen and dodge.
Okay. Have you ever been wrong, called an
Yep.
out ball, and it landed in?
A couple times.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident when I call it, whether it's going to be in or out. There have been a couple times that I've, screamed out and it's landed like at the back of the line and we've called it in, and then he gives me that look like, you big dope, we let them have a point. I could have been all over it. But I'm not going to lie. I think I'm right about 95% of the time.
And I mean, ultimately, if you're right 95% of the time, it's so much better to let all of them go, knowing that maybe 5% of the
Yeah.
time it's going to land in and just snag that line.
Exactly. Tell Riley that though. He still needs to work on listening a little bit better.
All right. Well, when we have him on, we'll
Mhm.
make sure he knows. So.
Yep.
You brought this up too, and this is something else that the first time I'd watch you guys play in real life, I noticed that stood out to me, and that was, you guys don't talk during timeouts. You have your own areas that you go to. Talk a little bit about that strategy.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, we grew up in a big family, and Riley and I were definitely the most competitive of the bunch. So, we grew up constantly playing, sports with each other and against each other, and aside from being the brother sister, like, we have a very similar mindset, and we're both pretty sports savvy and strategy wise. So when we're out in the court, I think we both kind of know what our jobs are. We can both recognize what's working and what isn't working. So for us, we don't necessarily feel like it's super important for us to talk during timeouts, because we know that the other person's probably thinking the same thing we are. I think the only time where we will talk during a timeout is maybe, if one of us is getting frustrated or down, the other person will say, "Hey, you're killing us right now. Like, suck it up. Let's move on," sort of thing. We very rarely talk about strategy or what we need to do, because it's innate and it's something we just kind of already know.
I love it. Yeah, it's like you're just going out there and you're not thinking, you're just doing what you know how to do and what you spent all that time practicing, and that shows, obviously, which is great.
Exactly. Yep.
So you've recently had some pretty exciting changes in your personal life outside of pickleball. Do you want to share any of that with the world here?
Yeah. Well, so 2020 kind of started off rough with, the coronavirus and everything like that. And it's been a rough year for a lot of people. But for me, this has actually been one of my personal best years. I got married earlier this year on 2/2/20. And then shortly after found out that I am expecting our first child, come October. So a ton of new, exciting things coming. And, we're both really, really excited. It's a little girl. I wanted a boy, I'm not gonna lie. I think I don't know how I'm gonna handle being a girl mom, but we're really, really excited. It'll be grandchild number 7 for my parents, who are super pumped, and to add another Newman and athlete to the family is really exciting.
That's so cool. You must be pretty stoked. Most people are going to look back on 2020 and be like, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
And you get to look back and see all these exciting things, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, like I said, 2020 has for sure been my best year, and it's only going to get better as, time goes on and stuff like that. So I'm very blessed. I know it's been a really, really hard time for other people and stuff like that, but for me, selfishly, it's going pretty well.
Yeah, I can definitely see. That's really exciting. Super cool stuff. Very excited
Thank you.
to hear more about that. All about becoming mommy, and that's crazy, but super exciting.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I never really thought of myself as the motherly type. I'm kind of tough love, tough around the edges a little bit. So it'll be something new, but I've had lots of practice with younger siblings and 6 other nieces and nephews. So I think I have sort of everything figured out. See.
Well, if you have everything figured out, then I mean you're far beyond most people that just
We'll
kind of wing
see.
it.
I said
from what
we'll
I
see.
understand.
I don't know.
Well, that's good stuff. Super exciting. 2020's huge year for you. And Webby, some other things that are huge here. Nobody wants to hear us ask you questions. They want to hear the pros asking pros questions, right, Webby?
That's right. One of our favorite things that happened in 2020 is the introduction of the pros asking pros questions segment to our show. And this first question comes from an awesome pickleball pro and a great friend of ours. And she just so happens to be our guest from the previous episode of the podcast. Here's a question from Andrea Coop.
Hey Lindsay, it's Andrea coming at you from Grand Rapids, Michigan. My dog Callie and I have a few questions for you. I come from a big family, Maggie and I are big pickleballers. Our sister Sarah plays too. We're wondering about you and Riley. I know you have a big family. How many siblings do you have? Where do you fall in the order? For instance, I'm the oldest. And do they all play pickleball like my siblings do? Can't wait to hear.
I think we lost Lindsay's audio there. Hopefully she can reconnect here.
Uh-oh. Yep. We can't hear you at the moment, Lindsay. Maybe you accidentally muted your microphone. Not totally sure. But how's it going right now?
Let me see here if we can't try and get her back on.
Live TV, folks. You never know what's going to happen. But we'll get it figured out. We'll get this figured out, and Lindsay's going to answer a bunch of awesome questions from the pros here on the Pros Asking Pros Questions segment here.
What we're trying to do right now is kill dead air, and yeah, it looks like she's got her tech guy there to help her out.
Yep, Lindsay, she has her own personal tech support who is currently working on the case as we speak. But as they work on that, Eddie, anything new going on with you that we can chat about?
Well, let's see here. Is there anything new with me? Oh, I got Paddle Tech finally came out with their new logo on a tournament bag, and my old tournament bag has been like hit for months. One of the straps is broken. The whole cooler section came out. It was hit. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for them to come out with their tournament bag with the new logo before I bought a new one. And they finally came out with it, and it finally came yesterday. And I love it, man. It's I think it's a huge improvement from their old tournament bag that I had.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have the previous tournament bag, and I love it. So I will have to look into getting one of the new ones as well.
Yes, if it was nearby, I would grab it, but it isn't. And we're doing a really good job of stalling here while Lindsay is trying to get reconnected. I know she was having some internet issues where she's at, but hopefully she'll get reconnected soon. What about you, Webby? What's new in your world?
So I've actually got some exciting things going on this weekend, and it's related to a comment we got from Ian Moss. And he says, look forward to seeing you, Webby, this weekend in Saline. And the reason he says that is because I will be doing a tournament in Saline, Michigan. Wolverine Pickleball is putting on a tournament. They have a lot of great precautionary measures in place to make it a good, safe tournament. And I am super excited. And I think that's all I need to say about that, because I think Lindsay's back.
Lindsay's back.
I think I'm back. I don't know, guys. Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's all good. Andrea Coop had asked a question about siblings and where you fall in line, and do they all play pickleball?
Yeah. So I've told her sisters, 2 younger brothers and 2 younger sisters, and our younger siblings, Haley, Carly, and Cody, all play, and they're actually pretty good. Our brother Cody is built kind of just like Riley, kind of tall, skinny, really, really quick, and he's starting to play even a little bit more now. So, him playing and Carly and Haley playing, we have 5 of us. So odd numbers is a little tough, but they play. Our parents mostly just watch us play, and we have our 2 older sisters, and they're busy with their own lives. So not a lot of time for pickleball, but over half the family plays, so that's not bad.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is very cool that a lot of your siblings play.
Yeah.
So let's go on to this next question. This next one is the first of a 2-parter, and it comes from another one of our favorite pickleball pros. Here's a question from Steve Deacon.
Hey, Linz. This is SDP here coming from Canada. I have so many questions to ask you, and I don't think there's enough time in the show for me to ask them all. I'm going to narrow it down a little bit. Number 1, I know I want to know what sort of talk you have in the middle of a timeout when Riley goes one way to the bench and you go the other way to the back of the court. I want to know what goes on in the committee meeting of one behind the court, because I see the lips moving, but I can't really tell what you're saying.
I'm going to say this. Steve Deacon is a huge punk, but he is also one of the nicest people on the pro tour. I'm going to say that. To answer his question, and I get asked this quite a bit, nothing that I'm saying to myself is typically very positive. I'm very critical of myself. I'm very hard on myself. I don't like making mistakes. If I make one mistake, it's one too many. So I'm usually kind of yelling at myself and telling myself to, do better and be better and stuff like that. So to answer the question, it's really not a whole lot of nice things. And if I were to say the stuff to you guys, I'd probably lose my contract. So I'm not going to, but it's just some tough love.
All right. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. I know I hate when I make mistakes. So during tournaments, I can be pretty tough on myself as well. Understandably so, though, because when I watch video footage of me playing, I yell at the TV screen because I'm like, "What are you doing, you idiot?"
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. I know the feeling. Trust me.
I do the same thing when I watch your videos too, Webby.
Oh, come on. Hey-o. No, understandable. Very understandable.
Yep.
But here is question 2 from Steve Deacon.
Okay.
Number 2, this is a really important one. Congrats, by the way, on your recent pregnancy. I want to know, if it's a boy, would you happen to consider, naming Stefan? Steve? I think that sounds great. Number 3, if it's a girl, I really like Stephanie. Anyways, take care, and I hope you're well.
Oh, what a quack. Holy cow. Well, it's definitely a girl, so I guess Stefan is out of the picture. Stephanie is a very pretty name. I don't think I'll go with Stephanie. There's actually a Full House episode with Stephanie Tanner, and she's getting made fun of because people are calling her Step on Me. So I don't think I could name my child Stephanie because of that alone. But I appreciate Steve giving some good name suggestions, and who knows in the future, if it's a boy, maybe Steve or Steven will be the front runner.
All right. So sorry about that, Steve. Your name suggestions didn't make the cut, but that was a great question. We appreciate it.
Very true.
I do know the episode of Full House you were referring to.
Yes,
I remember
it's
that.
so funny. Love that episode.
I do too. Yep, that's a great one. Step on me, Tanner.
Step on me, Tanner. Yes.
All right, so this next question comes from a very good friend of ours, and that is the one and only Gizmo.
What's going on, y'all? It's Gizmo Pickleball, tuning in from Pickleball Farm. Penny wants to say hello. But, yo, Eddie and Webby, appreciate y'all having me on the show. My question for Miss Lindsey Newman Adams is, so at the higher level, we see teams that stack. There's half stack, there's a full stack. There's all sorts of different ways to mix it up. One thing that I've noticed that you and Riley do is serve and switch. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? You know, why do you do that? What advantages do you think that it gives you, you know, when you do that versus stacking normally? Other than that, I hope we get back to playing tournaments soon. Hope all is well with everybody. And I gotta finish feeding the rest of my bad animals.
Oh, Gizmo. Who
I love
doesn't
when
love Gizmo?
Yeah, I love when he has those videos on the pickleball farm. That's great stuff.
Oh, those are awesome. Yeah, so I guess to answer Gizmo's question, there's really only one reason why we do, I think Hella Spar called it the Newman switch. And that is because my memory is so bad, is half the time I don't know where I'm going, where I'm supposed to be, what side of the court I'm on. So I feel like if we start off on one side of the court and then we switch, I have a little bit better chance at remembering where I'm supposed to be, you know, following the next point or the side out. And so that would be that. And then to answer why we don't just do, you know, what's the strategy, I guess, would be sometimes just to give our opponents another look, a different look. You know, sometimes, you know, if I'm playing the forehand in the middle side, sometimes, you know, Riley wants his turn with this forehand in the middle, and I get that. So a lot of times we just kind of switch things up because we figure why not. I don't know if there's a whole lot of strategy involved. It's that I'm so spacey and forgetful that I have to kind of know where I'm at on the court so I can focus on the point.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Yep.
This next question comes from one of the all-time greats in the world of professional pickleball. Here's a question from Tyson McGuffin.
Hey Lindsey, what's up? Hope you're having a good time on the Eddie and Webby show. Quick thing here I want to ask. So probably the most competitive comment I've ever heard out of Riley was we were playing Ben and Colin at the Florida Grand Slam, and I think it was like 10-7 in game 3. We were up, and anyhow there was this lob that went up, and I was kind of in a position to hit an overhead. And Riley obviously wanted to slide over and take it, and we ended up like both kind of colliding at the hip, and then Riley ended up falling into the kitchen after he hit a winner, and he looked at me and he said, "Tyson, get the F out of the way." Kind of a fun story, but has there been any other time, or I guess has there been a time where Riley kind of let you know his true feelings like that?
Oh, yeah, Riley's feisty. A lot of people don't know that about Riley because he's kind of quiet. He's a little timid, but Riley's pretty feisty. I'm surprised. I'm not really surprised he did that. But to answer Tyson's question, there's actually, we have a picture of Riley and I at NAS that someone took, and you know, I'm ducking, I'm squatting at the kitchen line, and Riley's above me hitting this, about to hit an overhead, and you know, Tyson probably didn't know at the time, but I have learned my lesson when, you know, there's a ball that goes up and I have any doubt that Riley wants it or thinks he needs to get it, that he's bigger than I am. He's taller, he's stronger. He's probably gonna take it whether I like it or not. So my best option is to duck or run out of the way and let him take it. So, you know, Riley's really good about kind of saving his emotions for, you know, the hotel room after the match or after, you know, afterwards. You know, typically he won't sass me like that, like he did with Tyson, because he knows better, and I'm still the older sister. But there are times where he will let you know that he wants a certain ball, and you better get out of the way, or you're going to be in trouble.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that question, Tyson. And is it just me, or does anybody else think that Tyson McGuffin lives in a hot tub?
That's it. He's always in there. Yeah.
He totally does.
That's the second question in a row that we got from him where he was coming from a hot tub.
Shirtless in a hot tub.
Yep.
Hey, if I looked like that, I probably would submit all my videos shirtless in a hot tub as
Why
well.
not?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right, this next question comes from one of the many great pickleball playing Newman family members out there. Here's a question from Lindsay's sister, Haley.
Hey, Linz, it's your favorite sister and soon-to-be favorite babysitter. My question for you is, after a super long day of playing in a tournament, what would be your favorite restaurant to go and sit down and stuff your face with? Just so I know where to treat you after your next win.
Ew, what the heck? Ew. Is it just me, or was that wink really creepy out? She should not do that. I'm gonna make sure she knows never to wink like that again. Well, first of all, it depends if she's paying or not. Haley, doesn't really treat a whole lot, so it's easy for her to ask where we're going because she usually gets treated. But I don't know. Like if I have a good day of tournament, I'll maybe treat myself to a $9 or $10, foot long from Subway. And if it was not so good of a tournament, I might just have an apple or go to McDonald's and get something super quick. But it really honestly depends on how the tournament went and how well I played is where I'll determine where I go for dinner.
All right. Makes sense. So this next question, it might not be from a pro pickleball player, but it is from a group of Lindsay's biggest fans. So here we go.
Hey, Auntie Wee Wee, because you're so famous, do people ask for your autograph sometime?
No way! That's really, really cute. Oh my gosh. Those are all my nieces and nephews. Wow. Okay, so that was Brody asking. And no, I don't think a lot of people ask. I don't know. I guess I've been told I don't look super friendly, walking around different tournaments and stuff. So maybe that's a reason why. I still think Riley and I are pretty under the radar. So I don't know how many people actually know us. So maybe that's another reason. But to answer Brody's question, no, I don't think a lot of people ask, actually.
Interesting. That surprises me.
Oh, that made my day, though. Thank you for that.
I do have a follow-up question, though. Did he call you Auntie Wee Wee?
Yeah. Yeah. So that. So I'm Auntie Wee Wee. And I don't know if you guys have kids or not, but for young kids, saying Lindsay is pretty hard, actually. So when my oldest sister Jenny had her kids, we just kind of thought of the name Wee Wee because it was way easier than Lindsay. So now I have little ones constantly calling me Annie Wee out in public, and you got to own it sometimes. It might be the most flattering nickname, but you got to own it.
I love it. That's great. That's actually not the only question from the Lindsay fan club. Here's another one.
Auntie Wee Wee, do you ever get mad at Riley sometimes at pickleball?
That would be Jackson. And yes, Jackson, I get mad at Riley a lot. A lot. But again, we try not to show our emotions too bad. I mean, I guess according to some people, I'll do, the famous eye roll, or after he hit a ball that I screamed out and he still hit it, I'll kind of turn to him and dip the head a little bit, like, what in the world are you thinking? But more times than not, we're really, really happy to be playing with each other and competing with each other. And I hope he feels the same way. I think he does. But yeah, there's definitely times we are mad and we have long car rides or flights home. But we're both, we both have thick skin. We get over it pretty quickly, and we're ready for the next one.
All right. Good stuff. This next question comes from one of our absolute favorite people in the world of pickleball. Here's a question from Michelle Esquivel.
Hey, Lindsay, it's Michelle. I'm here at the Beer City Open location at Belknap Park. I was just wondering, I'm going to be going to Dairy Queen later on today, And what should I get there? I know you're a big fan of Dairy Queen, so let me know what I should get, and cheers to you.
Oh, Michelle, what a good question. I will tell you exactly what you should get at Dairy Queen. If it's between 11 and 4 o'clock, weekdays only, I would highly suggest now it used to be the $5 lunch. It's now that they've raised their prices. It's now the $6 lunch. I like to get the 3-piece chicken strips with fries, gravy as my dipping sauce, and then you can even upgrade your Sunday, the $6 lunch. For $1 more, you actually get a small blizzard. I would highly suggest the $1 upgrade to your blizzard of your choice. I would probably do the Heath or cookie dough, one of the two, depending on my mood for the day. And then depending on what Dairy Queen you go to, for your drink, you can either just get like a soft drink, Sprite is what I would probably get, Dr. Pepper, that sort of thing. Some Dairy Queens will allow you to get a Misty Slush for free, which is, with the little, it's kind of like an icy at 7-Eleven. For free. Some of them will charge you, but either way, I think it's worth the up cost. So get a $6 lunch with chicken strips, a small blizzard, and hopefully a Misty Slush.
Nice. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very hungry right now. That $5 lunch sounds delicious. I could go for a blizzard right now.
$6.
And if you don't have anything in the works with Dairy Queen yet, I feel like this episode, this is gonna seal the deal. You're gonna have a sponsorship with Dairy Queen in no time.
Riley and I would honestly love that. We find a franchise owner or someone related to the Dairy Queen family to reach us. That would be a dream come true sponsorship deal for sure.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, how many people, Eddie, do you think like they're gonna hear this? They're gonna be like, I need to eat more Dairy Queen. I mean, Lindsey and Riley do it, and they're like some of the best players in all of pickleball.
Guaranteed that it'll happen a lot from this conversation because I got hungry, and I don't think I've ever had anything from Dairy Queen except for ice cream, and now I really want to go try their food because of purely from this conversation.
You have to. I'm telling you, the chicken strips with fries, it's hard to beat. Holy cow.
All right.
Yeah, where I'm at in Southeast Michigan, most of the Dairy Queens don't have food, but one that I do visit a few times a year is up north in northern Michigan, Northeast Michigan. I'm actually going to be going there next weekend. That location does have food, so you can rest assured I will be going in there, getting some food before I get a blizzard, and I'll be all set.
Make sure to check the app too for some good deals, and then take a picture and tag me in it so I can see it.
Excellent. Yep,
There's
I will
the Dairy
do that.
Queen spokesperson right there.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I've never wanted Dairy Queen more in my life than after hearing you talk about it. So I mean,
trust me, it's a daily occurrence for us. I want it so bad all the time. It's crazy.
Nice. Well, for this next question, it isn't a video, but a couple guys that have made a huge impact in the world of pickleball sent us a question for us to ask you, and it comes from the founders of Selkirk Sport, Rob and Mike Barnes, and they want to know, what is one way pickleball has changed your daily life?
Well, first of all, it's all I do now. I used to be very involved in other things. I would ref basketball, I would play tennis all the time. I used to do all these fun different activities, but I mean now it's straight pickleball. If I'm not playing, I'm either teaching or drilling or watching previous matches. So that it's changed that way. But honestly, it's changed my life more in that of the people I've met because of pickleball, and I've made a lot of really, really awesome friends, and it's helped me and Riley get even closer by playing and traveling and teaching together so much. So, pickleball has only done really good things for my life. I'll be eternally grateful to Mark Cook, who introduced us to the sport 3 years ago. And thanks to Selkirk too for bringing us on their team and letting us represent them, because it's been really an honor. And Riley and I have enjoyed every second of it.
Awesome. And yeah, I mean, I'm like the farthest thing from a pro level player, but I mean, it has definitely changed my life. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure
It's
Eddie, you
hard
can probably
not
say
to.
the
I mean,
same.
with all the people you've met too. I mean, just friendships off the court. it's probably one of the best parts too.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Mm.
So this next question is the final question of today's Pros Asking
Okay.
Pros question segment. And it
Mm.
comes from Lindsay's mixed doubles partner, which just so happens to be her brother. Here's a question from Riley Newman.
You saved the best for last. What's up, sis? Got a question for you. Tell the viewers what's been your most memorable experience on the road with your little bro.
What? What's up with this hair? Holy cow. Yeah. Most memorable experience on the road. I don't know. I mean, we've gone to Hawaii twice now. I think anytime we can go destination like Hawaii to play pickleball, that will always be super memorable. We've also been places to, like Vail, Colorado, which has been super cool. I don't know if there's been one specific, moment in time, but I think any time with Riley is a good time, and even though he drives me nuts half the time, he's fun to be around, and I hope there are many more pickleball games in years to come with us on the same side of the court.
That's so cool. It's great that you guys have that relationship. Me and my sister get along great, but we definitely would not get along well in a pickleball court in a competitive setting by any means.
Yeah, a lot of people say that too, and I think it just goes back to like our growing up days, being really young, and Riley and I used to play tennis singles against each other, and he would get so mad that I would beat him or that he would lose that he would actually pick up tennis balls or rocks or whatever he could find nearby and hit it at me as hard as he possibly could. So we've had our turbulent times, before, but now we've both, especially Riley, have done a lot of growing up where we don't do that as much. Now we just maybe give each other the silent treatment, and then the next day, we move on.
Well, I know that you guys play primarily with each other in mixed doubles. Have you ever been in a tournament setting where you've had different partners and you've played against each other?
Never that, thank goodness. I would not want to play against Riley. It's definitely a lot better being on the same side of the court as him. But I have played with other, mixed doubles partners when, sometimes we'll disagree on what tournament to go to. I think there was one time last year, Riley really wanted to go to Pittsburgh and I wanted to stay kind of on the West Coast, close by in California. So we just kind of said, well, let's do our own thing. So Riley went to Pittsburgh and I played, with Tyson, and there was another time I played the Chicago Open with Kyle Yates, and it is fun to like get to play with other people, but push comes to shove, Riley's definitely the number one person I'd choose to play with, but it's been fun playing with other people too, and I think he'll probably do the same as my life changes a little bit come October. He'll probably have to find some other mixed partners, which will be really, really hard to watch because I'll want to be out there so bad, but I'll be cheering him on, and I'll want to get out there as soon as I can.
Well, I know right now everything is kind of questionable as far as the future of pickleball, when the next tournaments are going to be. But right now, what do you have slated for the remainder of 2020 or even into 2021? Is there anything on the books for you right now?
Yeah, it's tough. TOC, Tournament of Champions, just got canceled, I think, a couple hours ago today. Nationals, which is, I think, my favorite tournament, got canceled, and some other that were on the schedule got canceled, which have been obviously kind of a bummer, but totally understandable at the same time. So right now, I believe the PPA in Newport is still going on, and then there's another APP tournament event in Bend, Oregon, kind of the last weekend, July, beginning of August. So those are the two that I'm thinking of right now that are coming to mind that I'm planning on playing and haven't got canceled yet. And I'm hoping more kind of pop up as the virus hopefully starts to slow down. I don't know if it will, but I'm optimistic that it will. And I think we're all just totally missing the competitive tournaments that we all used to look forward to almost every weekend. And it's been really hard not to go out there and compete and play and all that good stuff. But, there's bigger, more important things in life than pickleball, unfortunately. And, keeping everyone safe and healthy is one of them. And if that means postponing and delaying some tournaments for a couple months or another year, then that's what I think we should do.
Okay. I like it.
Yep.
Well, Lindsey, this has been awesome getting to know you a little bit better, getting to know your background, having a little challenge with you. But we want to give you the opportunity to share with the world here any shout outs you want to give, how people can kind of follow you on this journey. This is your time to do whatever you want with.
Ooh, I don't have a lot. I keep my sponsorship list nice and short, but thanking Selkirk for being our #1 sponsor. Awesome paddles. We're super excited. Riley and I have our signature line of paddles coming out hopefully around September, October. So hopefully people can look out for those coming out soon. We have a brand new, super awesome sponsor in Takea, the water bottle. So that's really exciting. And we have a couple other things going on that we're excited for, but we hope people can follow us, Newman Nation, on Facebook and Instagram. And then, of course, they can follow me and Riley on our personal pages, Lindsey Newman and Riley Newman. So we're appreciative to all the people who take the time to support us, cheer us on, whether that's on the court in person or online. We appreciate it. And we hope to see everyone really, really soon.
Well, that's awesome. And seriously, thank you, Lindsey, for all you do for pickleball. As Webby and I have talked about, we love watching you play. It's always going to be a great match when you got Lindsey Newman on the court. So thank you for spending your evening with us. And we really appreciate you being on. And hopefully we get to see you again soon so we can buy you that large blizzard.
I was going to say, I'm not going to forget it. I'm not going to forget it. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much for having me. Number 70. Congratulations to you guys. What a big achievement. Just remember, folks, I was on the show before Riley was. So we know who your favorite Newman is, clearly.
We knew we were going to get that eventually.
Don't forget it. Lindsey's the favorite Newman.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you again, Lindsey. We really appreciate it.
Thank
Hope
you.
you have an enjoyable
Thanks,
night.
everyone. Yes, you too. Thank you.
All right, see ya.
All right, see you, Lindsey. Oh, man.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew that she was going to point out that we chose her over Riley to be on first. And Webby, do you want to share how she was first before Riley?
I don't really know where you're going with this, but all I wanted to say is like, man, I cannot think of a better way for us to, I can't think of a better guest for us to have on Milestone episode 70. I mean, Lindsey is definitely one of the best players in the sport, one of the most fun to watch, especially along with her brother Riley. But what were you going to say? What is the reason why she was on before Riley?
I was going to say it's alphabetical, man.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
And I should have said that.
Here's what you always do in that situation. You say alphabetical, and then if it's flip-flopped, like if we had Riley on first, then you say, well, I was doing reverse alphabetical.
That's right. Yeah, there we go.
So.
But I'm sure Riley's not watching, so we'll just tell him it was alphabetical.
Yeah, Riley. It's all alphabetical. We definitely want to have you on here in the very near future. But yeah, that was awesome, man. Lindsey's super cool. She's just so easy to talk to, super down to earth, real approachable. And I can't believe she hasn't been approached for autographs. I feel like when I met her, that's exactly what I wanted to do. But I was like, you got to play it cool, Eddie.
Right.
You got to play it cool.
Well, no, because last year at the Beer City Open, she sat down and did some announcing with you, some live streaming and commentating. I was off running around with my camera, and then I came back towards the end of the match, and there she was. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt starstruck. I mean, that was awesome. And she was so down to earth and so nice.
That is very true. Gotta love the Newmans, man. If they're looking for another sibling, if 7 isn't enough, they can totally adopt me. I'd be happy to join the Newman family. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not Eddie and Webby? We could become Newmans together.
Yeah, we can be number 8 and 9. I think we're we're considerably older than the oldest of them. But maybe not considerably. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a few years older.
Right.
Like not like weird. Not like 20 years older. Like 5 maybe.
Yeah, and our viewer count just has dropped tremendously every second that goes by without Lindsey.
I get it. I hope you guys enjoyed that, though. I definitely know that it was a great time getting to know Lindsey a little bit. Webby, that was a great episode. Is there anything else we wanted to be able to cover today on episode number 70?
I don't think so. That was a jam-packed episode, super fun. I love the little game show that we had going there where she had to guess who Ben Johns was imitating. I thought that was classic.
That's right.
But she won. She won, and we owe her a large blizzard next time we see her.
That's right. She was coming across as all, I'm not confident in it. And
right.
She did great.
Yep.
Well, that was episode number 70, folks. And you know what that means? There's 70 of you out there still watching. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in again on another episode of the Eddie and Webby Show. On that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.